The Indian economy has shocked the United States and the world by becoming the fastest growing in the global top 50 once more. India's GDP likely grew by an impressive 7.2% in the second quarter this year, despite Trump's tariff tactics, trade drama, and efforts to contain India's global rise. Last year, the growth in Q2 was just 5.6%. However, the growth has been astronomical since then. The April to June quarter saw GDP growth at 7.8%, the fastest in last 5 quarters. Now, the Modi government's policies have seen India overcome the US tariff uncertainties and maintain over 7% GDP growth once again. The official GDP numbers are expected on the 28th of November. INRA economist and associate director Paras Jasrai stated, "From the demand side, private consumption is a leading growth driver due to steady real income growth both in upper and lower income households. The resilient services sector, along with favorable base-led goods export growth in the manufacturing sector, propelled the GDP growth from the supply side during Q2 FY26. The major factor that has pushed the GDP pace to a new level is due to strong private consumption and a resilient services sector. The Make in India initiative has also been a huge boosting factor. It has allowed the economy to breathe through an increased employment and global competitiveness. The manufacturing performances and resilient services sector has significantly risen under the current government. India's manufacturing sector also witnessed a steady growth of 4.6% in FY24-25. Vital segments include electrical equipment, basic metals, and machinery. The manufacturing sector's contribution in India's GDP is currently about 17%. However, the set aim is to increase it to 25% by 2030. Still, because of increase in manufacturing, the country's export sector is also setting bigger goals than ever before. Manufacturing exports have also surged 2.5% year by year and have reached $184.1 billion in the first 5 months of the current financial year. The major contributors in manufacturing exports are electronics, engineering goods, pharmaceuticals, and automobiles. The third reason for India's ongoing economic expansion is foreign direct investment. The country is actively positioning itself as an emerging player for global investors. The FDI inflows in the last 11 years, 2014 to 2025, amounts to $748.7 billion, which is 143% higher than the figure received during 2003 to 2014, which is $308.3 billion. In FY24-25, the FDI inflows in the country clocked $81.04 billion, which is again a 14% increase from $71.2 billion a year earlier. In manufacturing FDI, Maharashtra leads with 39% of equity inflows, followed by Karnataka at 13% and New Delhi at 12% in FY 24-25. The decline in retail inflation also encouraged people to consume more conveniently without denting household budgets. With low inflation, an increase in rural wage, which left the demand for consumption even higher. Indira report explained, the consumption demand was also supported by income tax cuts. As announced in FY26 budget, the private consumption would have grown at an even higher pace had there been no deferral of buying decisions due to GST rate rationalization. The World GDP Rankings 2025 shows India in 4th position with $4.19 trillion GDP, closing in on Germany, which is in 3rd spot at $4.7 trillion. India is then followed by Japan, UK, France, and Italy. United States, of course, tops the global list with a GDP of $30.5 trillion, followed in 2nd spot by China with GDP of $19.2 trillion. Now, Germany, which is in 3rd, enjoys a better GDP per capita owing to its smaller population. The country's economy is majorly export-led, including advanced technology and a highly skilled workforce. On the other hand, India in 4th has a much much larger population, but is still able to grow its GDP. However, the real challenge now is to grow the GDP per capita and increase income in households and consumption while the population also rises. The key drivers for India are rising middle class, young workforce, digital transformation, rapid urbanization, and new policy reforms. India is still expected to overtake Germany by 2028 and become the third largest economy in the world, according to Morgan Stanley. What do you believe? Are the latest figures proof that Prime Minister Modi has won the trade war against President Trump? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.